Today I'm making a Hiren's Bootcd and I'm doing it using Linux Mint. And without further ado, let's get on with it. We want Hiren's. Let's type it in. Oh, same old problem. Okay. Come down here. hirensbootcd.org, click on there, and you will see a nice clean page with no adverts. If you was using Windows, it would look a nightmare if you didn't have an ad blocker on there. So that's one good thing in its favour. Here they talk about, I think they talk about, oh well, perhaps they don't, not quite. But you will see that if we talk about USB booting, they've got a how to prepare a USB drive. And talking about downloading Rufus, well, Rufus don't work in Linux, so that's out. So we can forget about all of that. But if you're using Windows, you follow these instructions and you will have no problems. Let's go to downloads. And that tells us all about it. And there we are. There's the ISO image, and these are the checksum values should you need to make sure that your image file isn't corrupted once you've downloaded it. Without further ado, let's download. And here you can see we're sort of downloading the image. And it can take quite a long time. And you shouldn't be surprised at this. This is 3 gigabits of data. We'll fast forward through this. While that's going on, I'm going to look around and download another file. This time we're going to need Ventoy, and this is to prepare our USB stick. Click on Ventoy, ventoy.net. Now Ventoy will work on Windows and Linux operating systems. You just have to find the right download. Downloads, and we're going to download this zip file for Linux. Right, that's taken us over to SourceForge. I accept. Now if you've followed my other video about doing ISOs on one USB stick, it's much the same. And this is the version we want. And we'll download that. And our download will start in 3, 2, 1 second, 0, and we should see it start downloading Ventoy somewhere. Oh, they are. All done. I can close that lot down now. The next step is to decompress the file. Extract here. I'm going to extract it here. And there we have the file. I already have it over here actually, because that was the previous copy that I put across when doing the previous video. I'm going to do it straight from my downloads folder, save clashing with this one over here, just to prove it works. You can see that we have these GUIs, or graphical user interfaces, to the execution files to make the program run. Unfortunately, I'm using Linux Mint, and for some weird reason it doesn't work in Linux Mint. There's a workaround. Let's go back to the downloads folder, right click on the Ventoy folder, open as root, type in your password, and in a few seconds another window will pop up. Sometimes it seems like an eternity. Right. Now we have complete control over that particular folder. We click on the Ventoy graphical user interface times 8664. This is one we want. And we can close down all these windows now. We now have a USB stick in place. And before we install it onto the device, we have up here options. Now click on options. Get rid of that secure boot. Partition style, we've got a choice of MBR or GPT. If you've got an older machine, perhaps MBR would be more applicable. We'll try GPT. Partition configuration, let's worry about that. Okay. Install. Of course, you could choose a language of your choice before getting to this stage. Right. We need to mount the USB stick. The easiest way to do it is probably pull it out and put it back in again. Options here, there's this Ventoy EFI, and that's the bootable section of the USB stick. And this is the folder of the USB stick in which we put our ISO image files. So click on there. And now, hooray, dinner's arrived. Full stop. We've got the Ventoy folder open. Open our downloads folder again. Find our ISO image that we downloaded earlier of the Hiren's Bootcd. I'm going to go copy and paste. This will take a short while. And it's done. Well, hopefully we're all ready to boot up, and I've just started the computer and I have to press F12 to get into the boot menu. Right, here we are. I select hard disks and here's our USB hard disk. Hit return. And we've loaded into Ventoy, and this is the ISO that we're going to boot. As there's only one ISO to choose, it's not a problem. Boot in normal mode. Now this will take a little time, bearing in mind we're loading 3 gigabits of data via a USB 2 port. Oh dear, not quite totally on screen, is it? Hang on, let's see if we can adjust that while we're here. Well, here we are in all its glory. We have a sort of a scaled down version of Windows 11, and to all intents and purposes it functions very much like Windows 7. Now, the main folder that contains all the utilities is here, and that's up to you to sort of scan through and see if you can find anything that might be of use to you. All these programs are sort of a collection of everything that's sort of available freely already on the internet, so that if you wanted to defrag the hard drive or something, you go on here and Defragler's available, will stand alone on your computer by itself quite happily, but you've got a version here already. Sometimes you need to get access to your computer because your hard drive's gone down, and a program like this will probably help you to sort of diagnose your problems. There'll be maybe a tool or something here that will help out when it comes to your hard drive, and you've got hard disk tools, and it's up to you to explore these. Bear in mind, when you get into these tools, may be what you need or maybe not what you need, and you have to be very careful about using them before you sort of destroy any data on your perhaps on your hard drives, especially if you're doing sort of things like data recovery. Oh look, there's all these various tools that you can try out for data recovery, and don't ask me to sort of look at it because I haven't got a clue. This program here is sort of recovering lost photographs on the hard drive. Perhaps you've deleted them or something. I've also noticed this is an offshoot of another program called Test Disk, and there's a copy of that on here. There's even a copy of Ventoy on here, I think, if you sort of hunt around. Imaging. I don't know what Imaging's got. Yeah, probably make an image of your hard drives. Partition tools. Well, there you go. I mean, it's endless and it's pointless for me carrying on about all these things. If you want it, that's how to do it. If you don't want it, forget it. I'll go back to our main operating system and just show you one last thing that I prefer to do for myself, and that'll be it. So, other than saying why have I bothered when I've got very little use for it, and in fact it really is this scaled down operating system of Windows 11. Sometimes I run what's called portable software, and in that all the files that it contains will run quite happily on Windows without installing itself, and this offers me the facility to do that without running a full-scale Windows install on my main computer. As I said, I don't do Windows, I have no need for Windows, but I do think it's a great program, a piece of operating system. Many things, good things about Windows, and people who write free software for it, that I'm interested in. Windows as a sort of a commercial side of it, sort of running sort of commercial programs, doesn't interest me at all. I've removed my Ventoy drive, which was 8 gigabits, and I'm now replacing it with a 128 gigabit drive, which is USB 3, and I'll plug that in. It's already got Ventoy on it, and it carries all the ISOs that I already have, and here you can see them all here. And if I want to add Hiren's Bootcd to this, I go to my downloads folder, downloads, and there you can see the copy of Hiren's Bootcd. We're going to copy this and just paste it. And frankly, this does it quite quick because a lot quicker than the USB 2 port as previous, but it will not run on anything else other than a USB 2 port, which slows life up a bit. Okay, all done. We've come to the end of this video, and I'm going to put some written instructions in the description to avoid a little bit of confusion where I may have missed a few things. They are important, maybe not. But one last thing is, if it doesn't work, just supposing it doesn't work when you sort of boot up, but you boot into Ventoy, okay, but then you try to load your ISO and it chucks you out. Go onto your ISO, right click on it. Well, in my case it's right click. What you need to do is check the checksum of this ISO file and compare it with the one that's on the Hiren's Bootcd PE website. And if they don't match, that'll be the reason it doesn't work. So that's just a tip, and that's where to look first of all. I'll just check mine, which should be relatively quick. I ignore this one because it doesn't work, but so I come down to other applications and go to this one, GTK hash. Okay, I'm a Linux man, so it doesn't really matter, does it? And it will only take a few seconds to check this one. And as I said before, if we was using a USB 2 port, it would be a lot longer because the transmission of data is a lot slower. There we go. We're finished now, and I can tell from memory that this is the correct number. I just happen to recognise it as I've done it quite a lot. Well, okay. Good luck, guys. That's it.